Turkey hunting here in this part of Montana is probably not like turkey hunting that a lot of people think about. My expectations are we're going to have to work hard to do it.
Wild turkeys are not native to the state of Montana. Between the years of 1954 and 1957, the Montana Department of Fish and Game introduced the Merriam's turkey in the central and southeastern parts of the state. Today, thriving flocks of this big game bird are scattered all throughout Montana's hillsides of ponderosa pines.
You know, normally a turkey hunt is a lot of beautiful weather with the trees all budded out, the grass is green. This spring in Montana has been like no spring I've ever seen. Here we are, the 1st of May. You can see how much snow is here. My buddy Jerry, he's flying in from Nevada. I gotta pick him up at the airport.
I've been watching the forecast every day for a week, hoping the front would push so we get some sunshine. What's it look like?
I brought snowshoes.
Did you? Well, I got rain gear, so I hope we don't have to get in any snow.
Randy Newberg and Jerry Pritchard acquired over-the-counter turkey tags, and they're heading to the public lands in the southeast region of Montana. Dealing with constantly changing springtime weather and skittish birds will create a difficult and sometimes frustrating on-their-own turkey hunt.
When you're going where we are, you don't want to run out of food because we are going to be a long ways from food, so. You do brats?
Oh yeah.
All right. It's where we're running away from home as much food as we got, but we are going to be gone a week, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Anyone who wants to do an on-your-own turkey hunt, the western states are a really good place to do it because the vast tracts of public land we have where everybody likes to come out and elk and deer hunt, the same for turkey hunting. There's really no really flat spot, but right here's probably a flat enough spot for the wall tent.
It's a pretty good setup, I think.
There's an organization called the National Wild Turkey Federation, and that organization and its members have invested so much time, so much money in restoring turkeys to their historical habitats. And because of that, we have more turkeys now than anyone could have ever imagined 30 years ago. And the hunting opportunities for turkeys, every state in the lower 48 has hunting opportunities for turkeys. Well, Jerry, you're in charge, Mr. Leader.
Well, since we didn't have the benefit of a scouting trip yesterday, we can use today for a scouting trip.
I think we better.
Let's get a little bit closer to that ridge and then follow along the base of that.
What about weather? Is this what we're looking for?
This is what we're looking for.
I'm one of these guys who, I got to do something different. I don't know why I got to be this way, but Jerry, he's an experienced turkey hunter. He's using a shotgun. Me, I said, if I'm going to kill a turkey, I want to try it with my bow.
That's the basic sound. But you'll if you can make that one sound, you can call it turkey.
That call says it was made in 1965. Maybe they're speaking a different dialect back then. This winter I got to thinking, you know, finally I should call Jerry and say, hey, will you show me how to hunt turkeys? And I didn't even get the words out of my mouth. And he's like, when do I be there?
Yes, we'll just ease our way down here a little bit. I think you're right. These ones flew because they knew how steep that was.
The fun and the frustration with hunting Merriam's turkeys here in the West, and especially doing it on your own, is the challenge of coming to an area you've never been to, having to take the time to find birds, having to take the time to pattern birds, and then putting that all together in 6 days or 7 days, which is all I've got on this particular hunt, to make it happen.
When I put him on the roost last night, he's right down off that point about 500 yards.
All right, let's get in tight to him.
We're frustrated right now, but frankly, we're way ahead of where most folks are when they go to a place that they've never turkey hunted before. We're in an area that holds a lot of turkeys. We've heard as many as 5 in one night, so just the math is there for us, and there's no reason for these birds to leave this general area. And so we have to be patient, and boy, that can be really hard when you're talking about getting up at 4 in the morning and Going to bed at 10 a.m.
I think if we get to this top up here, we gotta set up on him because he's quiet now.
Well, and it's hard to say how fast he's moving, if at all.
Let's get up there.
I think by watching a lot of turkey hunts on TV, I had the false impression of what turkey hunting was really going to be on public land. If you come here and think you're going to have one encounter every half hour, well, you're going to go back to the tent and probably say, heck with this stuff.
Randy did all he could to try to identify where this turkey was at. Unfortunately, it was unclear last night that the turkey had options where he could go out of the tree.
Well, now we got to go all the way back down and all the way back up.
That's the only bird we've heard gobble all morning.
Now I think that we got to just hit every ridge and just keep walking.
We're going to have to keep calling until we can entice one to call back to us, but it's going to get tough now, but opportunity lost.
Jerry promised me that if I went turkey hunting with him, I would become addicted to turkey hunting. Well, right now, I can't distinguish turkey hunting from elk hunting because I'm doing as much hiking, as much walking, and having about as much to show for my results.
I think they're playing hard to get.
I don't know what to do. I haven't heard anything.
I thought I heard one way off, way over this direction.
Well, let's go grab the decoy. We just ridge after ridge after ridge.
It's very difficult to determine the best strategy to move in on a bird. There's a lot of steep ravines, a lot of structure between you and the bird, and so it's presented quite a challenge.
Look at that. Well, that's a nice one.
And both of them right side by side.
Wow. He decided to disrobe at the same time.
You could rattle with those. There you go.
Suppose a turkey would come to that.
I don't know.
I'm going to put him in
As
my
good
pack.
as you've gotten them to respond to the turkey call, it might work just as well.
Now, I'm not saying I'm a turkey expert, but everybody who is a turkey expert in my mind who hunts out west says the number one thing is mobility. There's none of this pop up your blind and sit there. These aren't birds that are living in 100-acre woods or some small patch of cover in a farm ground. These birds move, and they've got lots of country to move. And if you aren't ready to be moving, you're not going to see many birds.
He's getting closer. He is getting closer.
In southeast Montana, when you say we'll go to each ridge, the thing you forget is that other ridge is only 500 yards over there, but it's 500 feet down and 500 feet back.
Picture these things. This is a good setup here. We can see a long ways through the woods. Okay. They should be. This is a good spot to set up.
It's frustrating when you're in an area that has turkeys, and I know there's a lot of them in here, and they just will not gobble for whatever reason.
I've chased elk, and they got a brain this big. And I didn't feel that bad when they outsmarted me. But how big is a turkey's brain? The size of my thumbnail?
It can't be much bigger than that. I think, Randy, we're gonna need to get up a tad bit earlier, if you can imagine that, tomorrow.
Well, why even bother going to bed?
It's these long days, it makes you wonder that, doesn't it?
Well, by the time we get done cooking, getting camp organized, right now it's 9:30, it'll be 10:30. We got up at 3:45.
Well, if we try not to make coffee, we probably would still be okay getting up.
I think so.
If we could be out of here at 4:15, we're in good shape.
Where are they? What ridge, what drainage, what mountain? Don't be holding back on me now.
I shouldn't tell you this, but you were right. Don't give up on the area you found.
You're dealing with hundreds of square miles, birds that are very mobile and moving, and that's our style. That's how we do it. We just say, we're gonna show up, we're gonna figure it out, and hopefully we're gonna be successful.
Our luck's got to change, right?
Is that a promise or just a rationalization?
It's a promise. It's a rationalization that's going to come true. And we've just had a series of weather fronts come in. It rained all day yesterday. It's been my experience over the years that when these continuous fronts come through, the turkey seemed to have a hard time really actively getting into a breeding cycle.
His hen is in that brush. His hen is in that brush. Okay. Right up above that deer. But all my junk is right down here off the ranch.
Let's go get that and then we'll plot a strategy.
My expectation was we were going to have multiple encounters with birds and they're going to come in, and I thought, I'm going to bring my bow. It'd be really fun to shoot a turkey with my bow.
If she's sitting on the nest, we're fine. If she's just playing hard to get like a doe would, what'll happen, we'll start calling, she'll leave and he'll follow unless we're really close. The other option we would have would be to close the gap on him and use this gobble call along with a turkey call. That's risky though, because he could leave just like a bull elk would leave.
I don't know what we do. Do we try and get closer before we come up with strategy?
Yes, but we don't want to spook them deer.
After 2 days, 3 days, I realized how sparse the birds were, how mobile you had to be, how limited you are in cover to set up in. And I realized that the likelihood in this type of terrain of me being able to give up the movement of drawing my bow and everything else was going to be very difficult. If we can get down below this crest out of his line of view, we can get out on that road there, and that's the direction the hen is going.
Then I'd say that's what we got to do.
There, he just went into the trees. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm going to be realistic about the fact that this is my first turkey hunt. If I can get a turkey, it's going to be great. And I've kind of traded in the bow for a shotgun at this point.
You think we can make those trees without being spotted?
I think we can make that little patch right there.
Then let's get to that, and then we'll plot our strategy.
When a turkey has a hen, a gobbler has a hen, it's very similar to a deer with a doe that's in heat or an elk that's rutting. They're not going to leave that female that's, closest to breeding. So we had to try to follow along, and every time we did, that hen would move that gobbler along. And all I know to do is try to get as close as you possibly can without spooking the birds, and try to get close enough to the bird will come over to you without feeling like they're leaving the hen.
They're definitely moving away from us. By the time we make that bench in 5 minutes, they'll be another 300 yards away.
Yep.
But if we go all the way up there, it's really steep going up there. I don't know that we can call them up there.
No, I don't either.
Especially with that hen.
No, I don't know what they're going to do either. My guess is they head back into the timber at some point is what I think they're going to do.
No, there's not much timber here, so. Ready?
Yeah.
This type of elevation also reminds me of elk hunting.
Well, this one does. I must admit, I haven't been on a turkey hunt quite this strenuous.
Our truck is on that ridge, about 12 miles away.
I asked a lot of guys who I know and respect as hunters, what should I expect when I go turkey hunting? Every one of them said, just think of it as elk hunting in May. Kind of like, what are you talking about? Well, now I know. The frustration level can be the same as elk hunting. The effort required can be the same as elk hunting. And it's a very vocal and very visual activity.
Right there at 36 yards. You think they're smarter than elk. At least this one is.
Here I am, I'm being outwitted by a stupid little turkey with a little head this big. And I know I'd bet all the money in my wallet that if I put that much effort elk hunting out here, I would already have punched my tag.
It's 1:35. We've been chasing this bird for 4 hours almost. I'm going for about a half-hour siesta, so wake me up when he's in range.
I'll do that.
These birds are moving through the woods now. If they don't have a hen with them, they're moving through the woods looking for a hen. So anytime you're in an area that you've seen turkeys in before or they have been passing through, you're looking for that one turkey that's either left a female is looking for a female or is actively breeding. The not so lucky part is I think we've picked an area here that is conducive to having a lot of birds in it, so we've upped our odds of that happening, but we're still going to have to catch a break. I think we're going to have to catch one passing through.
It went around the mountain, that dirt clod. And see her, she's just right at the edge up there. When we came up here, I thought, well, we'll peek, but I really thought he was going to be up there where that hen is.
You know, he's just not moving very far. It's like she doesn't want to go anywhere, and he's not going to go anywhere.
Sorry.
That's twice. Close, close. We're going to stick with it.
I'm about ready to plead uncle, Jer.
Boy, this dude just keeps giving us the slip. Won't take long to spend the night around here.
Walk and call, walk and call, walk and call. Jerry and I split up this morning, and I was thinking I was going to do this kind of like elk hunting. Well, that's what I've been doing, the same way I'd go from point to point and bugle for elk. I knew I was a big game hunter and not a bird hunter. Not sure why I think otherwise.
It's the last morning of our hunt.
It appears as though the vast majority of these all have hens with them. Not a big bunch of them, but one or two hens with them. I'm really disappointed. They've just been very, very difficult to call away, but we're running out of time though, I'm afraid. So looks like we're gonna go home without a turkey. So.
There's a bunch way over there. I'm gonna get to these trees.
What we see on TV is not the turkey hunting the average guy has to deal with. I had no idea there was this much more to turkey hunting.
Holy smokes.
Come up this ridge and I look right out in front of me.
Looks like he's coming my way.
Well, now what do? I have no cover. I have nothing other than the crest of this ridge. But I think the one heard some noise and he comes walking right towards me.
Here he comes, holy smokes.
I get ready and there he is.
Turn around. Yeah! Whoa!
Did this really happen? So much effort. 5.5 days of doing this. Up and down these hills and these ridges. The frustration of seeing birds and not being able to catch up to them. Oh, he's missing a lot of everything. He took 2 shots of 12 gauge and I think he's been suffering from the rigors of the breeding season. 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 1 day ago, everyone was asking me, what do you think of this turkey hunting? I was saying, I don't get it. Today, I get it. I understand why guys come here and do this, why it's their passion. And I don't think another spring will go by without Randy being in the turkey woods somewhere.
In his autobiography, Theodore Roosevelt wrote, "Hardy outdoor sports, like hunting, are in themselves of no small value to the national character and should be encouraged in every way." Randy and Jerry experienced the absolute hardiness of hunting, even in the pursuit of turkeys.
If we could have had 2 or 3 of these mornings put together, we'd have one. Oh, you're kidding me. I love it! Oh, I can't believe it! All right!
How about that, huh?
Oh my gosh, Randy. Oh, I thought we got skunked.
The last morning, the last minute.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Through intense rain, tens of miles of hiking, and a lot of frustrations, these guys really shaped their personal character in the outdoors. Randy squeaked by on the last day with ultimate success to his grueling hunt. Tasting sweet victory is all the much better after the strenuous on-your-own experience. And please remember, the best part of any on-your-own adventure is that it's completely accessible and completely achievable by you, the real American hunter.